Uppy, uppy, uppy. It's One Funny Morning. I'm Dana Blizzard, and it's too early in the morning. This is the dumbest show in the whole world.
From Monday
to Friday. Sometimes on Saturdays.
Why would you say that in front of all these people?
Dean stinks.
You never know what's gonna happen.
That's your Dateline voice?
I don't know.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't.
It's not a chicken leg. This is a chicken leg.
Look at that manhole cover on my face.
Not a bad rendition of me. Hold on.
We know your brother. We'll give you a ride to school or whatever.
That's called
our small
murder
town.
in New Jersey.
he was a lot
Like what is?
with his everything.
Oh,
What's outside your Puerta de Clima?
that's Stella! Yeah.
Hi, my OFM friends. Here's La 5, OG, and me, and
Another La 5, Hélène, La 5.
and we're here to discuss a serious subject in Canada, very controversial. Milk in a bag. Here is the milk, and Hélène is going to show you how we deal with it.
Quite simple, really. Take the bag, insert in the proper container, give it a shake, make sure it's in there really good, grab a pair of scissors, and cut the end. That's it. Ready to go.
Take it away, Dina.
Uppy, uppy, uppy.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Don't you pour the milk in the... I thought it was like a powder. I love that LaFive is going to continue confusing me with Canadian facts. LaFive, why are you putting a bag of milk in a container? LaFive, explain. Yeah, here's Kezia. Interesting. Why do you sell it in a bag? What? Where's the carton? Why you gotta make it? Does it just lay on a... When you're shopping for it, is the bag just laying on a... Is it just like in a carton, it looks stately. It's like, I am milk. Pick me up. In a bag. How do you buy it? Yeah, is it refrigerated? Is it on a shelf? What's the... Canadians are just extra. What's wrong with a carton? So you don't buy it ever in a carton? LaFive, the whole show is going to be about milk. The whole show. I thought it was a mix. I'm so confused. It's just laying 3 pouches in a bag in the fridge. Bagged milk is in Eastern Canada. Western Canada, we use cartons. You mean in Western Canada, where civilization is? What's happening? Why are the French so confusing? Why can't Canada get on board and all be the same? Did you guys know when we were in Quebec, all they speak is pretty much French? That's it. And then the rest of the country is like, yeah, we'll just do English. Get on board. Yeah. 3 pouches in a bag. But why don't you just take the bag and pour it into the container? Why is Aunt LaFive? I told you it's controversy, she said. Well, listen, I'm glad that we started with a milk fight. We are multinational, and that's what makes us unique, says Judy. But Judy, make fun of them. You have to. Okay, I'm going to play the role of a Western Canadian. Ready? Did you guys hear what they're doing still in East Canada? What are you talking about? Girl, they drinking milk out of bags. I'd be like, ugh, Neanderthals. Like, I have to imagine that's happening. They're talking bad about you. Here's what Judy says in public. We are multinational, and that is why we're amazing. But once you give Judy a drink, give her a bourbon, she's like, did you see the Eastern Canadians with their bags of milk? Like weirdos. Mm-hmm. I didn't order a bathing suit. I chickened out. All right, so here's what's happening. We think cartons are yucky. What? You guys are so funny. I'm trying to think if there's anything like that. Was there an American version where like the East Coast does something one way and the West Coast, it is like a giant Capri Sun of milk. Shakendra hit the nail, hit done. And Shakendra shut it down. It's like a giant milk Capri Sun. What is something that we do on the East Coast different than the West Coast? Let's see, our hair. What else? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. This Ontario girl uses carton milks as the 3 bags of milk will go bad before I use it all. Mm-hmm. Oh, Jenny. Overseas, Italy does bag milk and it's warm. Mm-mm. We do have cartons, but we prefer the bags to the carton. It's a regional thing. All right, but here's the big question, LaFive. Why do you put the bag in the container? Why not just pour the milk into the container? I think that's my bigger issue. I was like, first I thought it was a mix. And I was like, my mom, when we were younger, we was poor. And she used to do like powdered milk. That's a thing, right? So that's what I thought it was. But then when you just said it's milk, she said it would make a mess. Hellman's versus Blue Plate Mayo. Some mayo, different names. I don't know what Blue Plate Mayo is. Our guest is here today. All right, that's Lulu. Just say she'll love you. Yeah, she's not a good guard dog. She's never met him. I have. And this is Ruby. She'll be deathly afraid of you. All right, so listen. Yesterday, you came on a great day because we're discussing milk. Very, very controversial. So yesterday I introduced you to a very funny comedian. And it turns out he lives 2 towns away from me. What? I'm finding all the comedians. So live and in person, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Riccadonna.
Hey,
look at him.
Here's some wine for you.
What?
I know how to kiss up to a host.
Wow. This is so fancy. Nobody's ever given me dessert wine before. What a nice present. So that's Lulu. You've never met Lulu.
No, but my boys said, they go, when you go tomorrow to your friend's house, they got dogs. You better take pictures if there's dogs.
They want you to take pictures?
We're obsessed with taking pictures of dogs. We love dogs.
Really?
I don't know.
No idea.
We're weird.
You are weird. Do you dog sit? I already asked you that.
That's
right, Gizmo. I asked you. That's what we were talking about. What's the new dog's name?
Happy.
The new dog's name is Happy?
Yep, named after Happy Gilmore. We're hillbillies.
So funny. This is really nice. No one's ever bought me a bottle for breakfast.
Well,
breakfast
the
wine.
sun's out.
The sun is out. It's time to celebrate. Mm-hmm. All right. So Mark, introduce yourself officially. Tell everybody how, besides us falling in love down in Myrtle Beach. Now, by the way, do you want just plain banana bread or banana bread with chocolate chips and walnuts?
Oh my God. There's a lot of choice.
There's
I'm probably going to go plain just to...
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the answer was obvious.
I love banana bread.
You do?
Yes. Who made this?
I did. I had so many bananas yesterday when I came back from my trip, and I was like, somebody got to make banana bread. And I had too many bananas for one loaf, so I made 2 of them. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey, so I'm Mark. I'm a stand-up comic, and I basically, I think saying stand-up comic is weird because I kind of do everything.
That's not all you are, yeah.
I do like a lot of I try to direct stuff now, but I've been acting.
Mm-hmm.
I got a thing that you have to do when we shoot season 2. It's called Checked Out. It's on 213.tv, and it's about these two guys who work at a convenience store, and one
Okay.
is like extremely woke and he got Me Too'd, and my character is basically a rougher version of me. Like I just say all the wrong things at all the wrong times. So like this guy just kind of goes into a fury, and
All right. So what's it called? 213.com.
and it's called Checked Out.
Checked Out.
And it's funny. They're short. They're only like 8-minute episodes, but there's like a bunch of them. And then later this summer I'm doing a. Do you remember Beer League? That movie with Artie Lang?
No.
They're making a series of it, and I'm playing one of the characters.
Beer League.
Yeah, about
What?
Beer League softball.
What does that mean? I don't know what Beer
don't know
League
what Beer
softball.
League-
No.
People
Is it
like
just
me
guys
who
that-
are out of shape, still pretending they're holding on to their youth, so they play softball together. And, they drink a lot of drinking.
Okay.
I love
So-
this dog.
When I met you, how old were you?
Jeez, I don't even remember.
Well, it was before. How old were you when you got married?
25?
You were 25 when you got married. You was a baby.
I was a baby.
So we were hanging out before this. So you were like 23?
Yeah, probably.
Gosh. You were a baby. Oh my
But
gosh. Think about
yeah.
that. That's how old Jacqueline is now.
She was real little.
Well, she was like,
She
feel
was
like-
out of diapers.
she was out of diapers, but I feel like they were like 7, 5, and 3. Oh, so I said to Brooke yesterday, I said, Mark Riccadonna's going to come here tomorrow. And she said, is that Mr. Trash Can? Now, do you know who Mr. Trash Can is? It's another comedian.
No, but that's hilarious.
There's Hillbilly and Mr. Trash Can.
Who's Mr. Trash
You
Can?
want to take a guess?
Jason Pollock?
It is Jason Pollock. How did you guess that? You guys haven't met Jason yet.
Oh,
But he's
he's a-
hilarious.
yes.
Tim Grill says hi.
Tim.
And so, so we were out one day. He was with us at the Philly Diner, and we're all hanging out. Jason happened to be by. So, so I said, come meet at the diner, whatever. I don't know if he was telling a story about a trash can or something, but the kids got so confused with what he was saying. They were like, that's your name, Mr. Trash Can? And I just started laughing. He's such a quirky fella. And so I said, no, Hillbilly is coming tomorrow. And Brooke's like, oh, I remember him. I said, how do you remember him? You were the youngest of the 3. There's no way. She goes, Mom. I said, you were like 3. She goes, Mom, I was 5. I go, oh, big difference because you remember everything at 5. She was like, at 3, I wouldn't have remembered anything. But I was a solid 5 when I met the Hillbilly.
I feel like with we lose that thing, like when you're younger, you want to be older so bad that you even give like half years.
I'm not 3. I am 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. I'm 42 and a half, guys. 42 and a half.
Solid. And that extra half at 42 makes such a difference. Such a difference. Big deal. Big deal. So now I haven't seen you. You have got silver like me.
Yeah, I was watching the episode where you had Pete Lee on, and you guys were talking about letting it go silver, and I was like, yeah, because I don't know how to dye my hair, so I'm like, me too.
When did you start going silver?
I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. One day I woke up and I went in the mirror and I was like, was I doing drywall last night? What is in my hair? And my beard was all gray. And so that's why I do the mustache now, is because when I grow my beard in, I look like Santa. Fat guy, white beard. People
You
are
don't
like,
look like Santa. You're ridiculous. I love it. And how's your beautiful wife, Angie?
She's great. And you know what's crazy?
Tell me.
She drives by your neighborhood every single morning.
On her way to work?
Yep.
Shut up.
Yep.
Tell her to stop by sometime. She's off for the summer now, right?
No, she's doing
Like summer school?
Yeah.
Oh my
Both my boys are too.
Really?
It's weird that I was such a horrible student as a kid. I was so bad. I liked school, but I hated like the learning part. I just liked seeing my friends. And now I'm surrounded by people who love school. Like, they just love it. They're like, Angie loves going to work. The boys they're doing summer school. They didn't do bad in school. They
were just like, let's just do it.
Let's do it. We're like, don't you want to go to like a summer camp? Like where you go and do stuff?
Just
and
don't
like,
think all summer.
No.
And they were like, nah, we want to keep thinking. So they got Angie's genes, is what you're saying.
Yeah, thank
They're
God.
basically mini Angie. Mm-hmm.
They have my love of animals, though.
So the dogs.
Yeah.
You should take one with you.
When I'm on the road, like, and I see a dog, I have to take pictures of them and send them to my kids so they see I'm getting my animals in.
That is so funny. Edward said guys have gray hair. Yeah, but nobody notices it on men.
I think
the
he
same
means
way.
compared to silver.
Oh, guys have
ladies
gray
do silver.
hair.
Guys just go gray. We're old and run out of color. You guys become shiny.
No, we don't. We become haggard. You guys become distinguished. Like people think you know things now.
As soon as I open my mouth, I'll find out that was wrong.
All right, let me ask you this. How do you feel about milk in bags?
Milk in bags?
Yeah, like a Capri Sun.
I don't think I remember the cartons from little kid cartons.
Exactly.
You had to figure out the Rubik's Cube of opening the top.
Yeah.
But I don't. As far as
what
milk
if like
bags,
like if you were to pick a country
bladder of milk.
If you were to pick a country that still drinks milk in bags, what country would you think that would be?
God, I feel like it'd be like in the Middle East, and it would be in some kind of like a flask, and they would like in a yak skin.
That's exactly how they're drinking it.
Out of
yak
skin milk. And like I imagine it being like a desert where you have a bladder of milk.
Mm-hmm.
Am I remotely correct?
You're so close. It's Canadians on the East Coast. The Eastern Canadians. I don't want to say the coast because I think it's just the eastern part.
Is that like the
Newfoundland? Yeah, the Newfoundlanders. And I don't know where exactly. LaFive, what province are you in? Have you ever heard of Saskatoon?
Yes. Because it's such
Do you know
funny
Judy?
Name. It's a funny name. So like it's like Schenectady, Saskatoon.
How do you know it?
Atlas. You gotta have all the weird names.
Do you know where Saskatoon is?
Couldn't point at it on the map.
It's in the Saskatchewan region. It's in the Saskatchewan region.
Oh, that makes sense.
Canada. I've been there. I've been to Schenectady and Saskatchewan. Oh. Have you been to Schenectady?
I have been to Schenectady.
Every comic has.
You have to. You got to do the Schenectady shuffle, like in
the
1950s TV show.
Yeah. East is Ontario to the Maritimes. That's not that sentence meant absolutely nothing.
They were all words.
I don't know what a maritime is. Something with water. East to the maritime. No. No, I don't know what that is.
So what do they put it in animal skin, or is it just a plastic bag?
No, it's just a plastic. Now here's what's weirder. She took out a bag of milk. It was like long and rectangular. And then she had this pitcher. Now, what do you think she did? She said, I want to show you how we do milk. And she had this bag of milk, and then she had a pitcher. What do you think she did next?
Did she dump the milk in the pitcher?
That would have made sense. That's what I was waiting for. Her name is LaFive. This is her. Alice LaFive, something French. So we call her LaFive. So her aunt, the Aunt LaFive, has a bag of milk and a pitcher. She goes, let me show you what we do with the milk. And I was like, well, this is a dumb video. She's obviously going to pour it. And then she took it and stuck it.
The bladder in
the whole thing pitcher. Into the pitcher. And I go, what are we? And they're like, that's how you do it. It's very, and she says it's very controversial.
So then when you pour it, how do you does it have like a thing like a spout where you hit the little button?
Well, she cut it this way. No. She just put it in there and she cut it this way. And so there's like a little. So she said the Maritimes are Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. Okay, but here's the thing. You said it's east of them, but it would have to be, Ontario has to be west of them. That's what's confusing, Judy. You said that Ontario was east of the Maritimes. East of the Maritimes is the water. You mean it's west of the Maritimes.
I I don't know. I just know
The Maritimes are like Nova Scotia, something Labrador.
retriever.
Yeah, there's a retriever in there. Those. Mm-hmm.
They have those real cool birds.
Let me
right?
just show you.
Puffins.
Let me show you the video. This is what she sent us. I'm going to show you. Hold on. They send us videos in the morning. So
I love it.
this is what
You
she
have
sent.
such a cool community.
Hi, my OFM friends. Here's La5, OG, and me, and
Another La5, Hélène, La5.
and we're here to discuss a serious subject in Canada, very controversial. Milk in a bag. Here is the milk, and Hélène is going to show you how we deal with it.
Quite simple, really. Take the bag, insert in the proper container, give it a shake, make sure it's in there really good. Grab a pair of scissors and cut the end. That's it. Ready to go.
Take it away, Dina.
Yuppie.
Serial killers.
I didn't know the picture is like form fitted, like made for the milk.
It's made
bladder.
for the milk bag.
So that's kind of cool.
No, it's not. It's still weird.
But then you don't have to wash it.
I mean, if you're looking for the pros and cons, yes.
I mean,
I imagine.
I
But
like
it's
the little
blowing my
snip.
mind.
I like that is controversial in Canada. You guys, you're doing it right. If this is the big
This
problem.
is it. This is their big issue.
This is the big problem.
They're like, otherwise, we're actually getting along real. She goes, we do wash it, so there really is no benefit. That's really funny. And then I was trying to think, like, is there something in America that like we do on the East Coast that they would never do on the West? Okay, I have one. I was in California, and I was in the car with my cousin. And I said, hey, she's like, let's go in the store. And I said, okay, but I have to grab my pocketbook. And then she started laughing. And now she's from the East Coast. She goes, I'm just laughing because when I moved here and I said pocketbook, people were like, your what? I was like, my pocketbook. And they were like, what's your purse? You're like, well, you call it a purse. We call it a pocketbook. And they were like, well, how do you spell? And I was like, how do you spell? They were like, how do you spell pocketbook? And I was like, P-O-K-K-A. It doesn't make any sense.
Did you get out your billfold and sit on the Davenport?
But nobody says pocketbook. But East Coast pocketbook
is
that's what you call. I don't call it a purse. I call it a pocketbook. Spelled P-O-K-A book.
P-O pocketbook.
P-O pocketbook. But is there anything else you can think of that we like the East Coast and West Coast do so?
I feel like there has to be a lot of difference because, like the East Coast, especially the Northeast, like everybody's so blah, 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 blah. Like they never stop.
Yeah, we don't ever stop.
And it's like you go out to California and it's like Tuesday and people are like just hanging out. And you're like, whoa, you guys just
don't you
relax?
Have a job?
The Northeast is just so.
I think it's funny when, like, if you're out anywhere really west of, I'd say, Illinois, and they say, let's get a cheesesteak, and it's laughable. I'm like, you think that's a cheesesteak? You know what I'm talking about?
I was just in New Mexico, and they made a cheesesteak with green chili cheese, and then like the fried frizzled onions, like the ones that are like almost potato chippy.
Oh, what?
And it was good, but it was like I wouldn't call this a cheesesteak.
This is not a cheesesteak.
But how do you eat your cheesesteak?
I'm a chicken cheesesteak girl, but it's hard now because I can't have the bread because I'm gluten free.
Oh.
So if I can find it, then I'll do like peppers, eggs, cheesesteak, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
How about you?
I'm a chicken, but I like buffalo chicken cheesesteak, which is kind of like not even a Philly thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like they always look down on me. But I'm not from here.
So one of my favorite bits that you do is about your grandpa. Tell everybody about your grandpa.
Well, we named my son after my grandfather. We named him after my father's father. We called him Grandpa. And we did name him because my grandfather said I can do anything I wanted with my life. I had a teacher in high school tell me different. She actually failed me my senior year of high school. So we wrote a paper called the Shadow Report. And the Shadow Report is where you follow the person who has the job you want, and you have to write a paper about it. But she failed me because I followed my grandfather. And according to her, retirement isn't a job.
Not a job.
But, you know, I looked at it like this. Grandpa woke up whenever he wanted. He watched TV, drank beer. Friday, check in the mail. I want to do that.
I loved it. That was always my favorite. What do you feel like you write about now? Like when last time you and I probably worked together was forever ago. Yeah. But I don't remember you having like a bunch of stuff about kids. Like, are you writing more about your boys?
Yeah, I it's a lot of, I try not to, because I realized I was picking on the one kid and then making the other one, so it would be like a compare and contrast. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like bad that it's like, man, when he gets older, he's going to be like, Dad hated me. But I actually think it's adorable because my younger one is like, he's legitimately like, he's like a gangster. Like he is ruthless with like getting away with things. This is probably not funny.
Tell me.
A few years ago when he was in second grade, he talked his way through two adults, and he also did a voice to text paper to allow him to get on the bus with his friend. And he talked through two adults and got on a bus, and I was in New Mexico. It was 2 years ago, and he got on a bus, and when they went to get off the bus, they realized the kids' parents weren't home. The grandparents were watching them, so they aborted the mission. And because they were so young, they didn't like really think it out. So he was just like, okay. And he just like walked and went missing for hours. Like nobody knew where he was. And I was in New Mexico.
So wait, he got off the bus. But then when they got to this other boy's house,
they realized
that's when they aborted the mission.
They aborted the mission. So he just kept walking through the neighborhood and went to somebody's house that had a swing set in the backyard and just started randomly playing. And that person then saw them and then called the school and was like, there's a random kid. And they're like, oh my God, we're looking for him. So like they took him back to the school. And then his whole theory was when they went to question him, they're like, why did you do this? And he's like, well, I was allowed to. And they go, what makes you think you were allowed to? And he goes, I had a note. You said I had to have a note to get on the bus. And they were like, yeah, but it has to be from your parents. And he goes, but you never said that. You just said I needed a note. I provided
Okay, so
a note.
Here's my thing, though. As a parent, if they call you and say, we lost your kid, like, were you enraged? Were you already like, what's wrong with you people that you lose my kid? Were you like, because I would go after the school first. Like, that's your natural inclination until you find out that you're harboring a criminal and that he masterminded the whole, and you're like, actually, I'm sorry. Like, did that go down? Like,
I was just so freaked out because I realized there's nothing I can do. On the other side of the country.
Yeah.
So I was like panicking, and they're like, we can't get a hold of your wife because we know she's still teaching. So like,
I feel like that's something that you interrupt for.
Yeah, well, so yeah, they did. they did, but so they called me first.
We don't know if you would want to know, but your son is missing.
He's gone, but you know,
keep up
he's
with the
very
map.
resourceful.
Yeah,
so we're sure he's probably living with a coyote.
So he blamed the administration.
Yes. He just basically said like, well, I had a note. I don't know why I'm in any trouble. And it was one of those things where it was kind of like, I'm glad I wasn't there when they questioned him because I would have started laughing and went, hey, got a point. The kid got a point. What do you...
I went home from on my friend's bus once and didn't tell my parents. Then I realized it was getting late. I walked home in like 3 feet of snow. I was about 12, and this guy tried to give me a ride. When I finally got home, my parents were, of course, worried sick, and I realized what a mistake I made and never did anything like it again. I also got in a lot of trouble.
Victoria,
Wow.
you and I
Yeah.
get it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But your other son would never do this.
No, the other one is like the rule follower. He is like everything is. Summer last year, so like a year ago, the teacher said, "So Axel, what's your big plans for the summer?" He goes, "I think I'm going to do a lot of sitting on the porch and relaxing." And I was like, "That's my kid. That is 100%."
And his name is Axel. Where did that
Axel.
come from?
That is my wife Angie's grandfather's name. Yeah, Axel Schroeder.
That's a great name.
It's really cool, and it's funny because it's like the #1 name in Sweden or something. Like we're like there can't be that many Axels out there. Surprisingly, there's a lot of Axels out
really?
there. Yeah.
Not here though.
No.
It's not a popular. And what's your other son's name?
Duke.
Good name.
And yeah, that's my grandfather's name.
Wow.
Who cares? So it was. They're both named after grandparents, but everyone thinks we're like hipsters.
Oh yeah, they do seem like hipsters.
We're so old that we seem hip.
Missy says hi, Missy.
Missy.
Wow, my great nephew, who's 3, is also named Axel.
Yeah.
The power went out, and I thought I had to go to my friend's house as her mom was our babysitter. They let me on the bus with her, but none of my brothers got on the bus to go with her. I didn't think anything of it. I once was lost for 3 hours, and I was first grade. Decided to go to the park by the bus stop. There was a story at our kids' school where the mom, is that a bug? All right, you're a man. Please deal. Okay, thank you. This one bus, this kid kept getting dropped off really late. And the mom kept saying to the kid, "What is going on? You guys are getting later and later." And the mom's waiting at the bus stop. And the kid kept saying, "Oh, we went for a joyride. We went to the park. We went to McDonald's." And the mom was like, "Okay, whatever. Let's go have dinner. Let's get inside." Right. But every day he would come home with these crazy, fantastical stories. Well, one time he must have come home extremely late. And the mom was like, "What is going on?" And he was like, "Well, we went to the park first. And then after that, we went to McDonald's. But that just took a long time." But he was oddly specific. And the mom was like, so she called up some of the other moms and was like, "Can you ask your kid why they're so late?" And they were like, "They're telling us they went to the park." They all had the same story. And so they called the school, and it turns out that this bus driver loved his job so much, wanted to spend time with the kids. He would take them to the park, let them all go out, let them all play, stop at McDonald's, go for joyrides around town. He was just doing whatever he wanted.
Greatest bus driver ever.
Yeah, got fired.
Well, until you find out he was like a serial killer.
Yeah,
something.
until you find out that he kidnapped your 60 children and took them joyriding around town. This was like, it was K-8. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I was so afraid though when my kids got old enough that they were going to school that they were going to have my issues that I had as a kid.
Right.
Because I felt like, and I still feel like this all the time, like, did I miss a class where they explained things? Because, like, you would just, like, go in and they're like, "Okay, it's bus dismissal time. Go get your bus." And I'm like, "How do you find your bus?" and everybody be like, "Well, do you know what bus number you are?" And I'm like, "No." And where are bus numbers? Like, the license plate number? How do you find these? And nobody ever explained it to me. And then they would treat you like an idiot when you asked. So then you would never ask. And I feel like
just get on random buses.
I missed the bus every single day after school, going to the buses. And I'd have to call my parents, and they'd have to leave work to come get me. And they're like, "Why can't you just get on the right bus?" And I'm like, "I don't know what bus to get on." And it was like,
don't you have brothers?
I do, but he was older, and they went to, I was in a Catholic school, so they got dismissed at a different time.
Got it.
And
I was going to say, that was always my go-to. I would just be like, "Where's my sister? I'll get on that bus."
But it's like, even now, like, you go to do anything, and the people who work there treat you like an idiot because you don't know how their business works.
Well, let me ask you something. That's true. That's like the soup Nazi, where
And
you order it wrong.
Yeah, and I'm always like, I don't work here. I don't know how this works.
So you got here at the time you got here because you do the drop-off for the kids, right? So if Angie had to do the drop off, would she know how that works? Because she goes to work and you're doing because I remember like there was a you had to learn the drop off line, and then I was on vacation or I was doing a gig somewhere and Jim had to do the drop off, and they were chasing the car around the parking lot, and you could always tell when it was a dad dropping off because it was just hysteria, and all the teachers are running. You're in the wrong line. Go to the other line. Like it was,
and they take their drop off very seriously.
Oh, the drop off is very
get out of line.
No. So like, what does Angie do it enough that she knows the system?
Well, the great thing about Angie is she figures things out and then explains it to me. So then when she explains it to me, then I go and like actually do it. So she actually knows what's happening.
Got it.
On all the
She's
things.
Got the inside scoop.
Yeah. And I feel like I volunteer a lot at the school, and it's funny because I'm always the only guy. It's like it's like 10 moms and me.
Are there any other stay-at-home dads?
There is one guy but like I feel like him and I are on different days.
Oh,
like so it's like
you guys didn't immediately just connect and be like, dude.
Yeah. Well, no. Whenever I see him, I'm like, hey. Yeah.
And that's it.
The other dad.
You guys don't hang out?
No. It's funny when I volunteer at the school, I just work. Like I just do whatever they want that needs to be done. Like if it's the book fair, it's like I immediately just jump in and like.
But all the other moms must love you.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we go to like the stuff like the school concerts and the whatever the play and all that stuff, I'm like the mayor of Shady Grove, like walking through, they're like, "Hey, it's Mark," and I'm like, "How you guys doing?" And my wife's like, everybody. I'm like, well,
I'm the guy.
I'm cool here. The rest of my the other 23 hours, I'm the dork. Yeah. But at this school, I'm the guy.
Well, the stay-at-home dad is usually pretty popular. But you're right. Now that you say it, I think the stay-at-home dad's like hanging out with the stay-at-home moms. I don't think they hang out with each other.
Well, there's only 2 of us, and it's like we didn't really. If we were on the same shift, we would hang out and talk. But
what's his name? Yeah. Okay. So
Sean's dad.
You don't talk to him.
I know their kids.
You don't know him.
I don't know any of the moms' names either.
Yes, you
do.
I
only know their kids.
You know Susan. There's a mom. Who is it? The hot mom. Who is it?
I don't.
You're lying.
In the town we live in, they're all like workout people, and they're all.
You don't know any of the moms' names.
No, I don't.
I feel like you're lucky you remember Angie's name at this point.
She's very lucky that I remember it. I'm like a Cotton from King of the Hill. Mark's wife, come down. Mark's wife.
You're like the every guy. That's always been your thing.
I really enjoy doing the work at the school though. And I'll I volunteer for even the times that my kids aren't in it. Like if they're only 10 to noon is when my kids are at the book fair. It's like, it doesn't matter. I volunteer the whole day.
You're like, I'll just be here. I got nowhere else to go. I don't have friends. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Where am I going to go?
I'm lucky I know my neighbors' names, and I only know a couple of them, even though I see them every day.
I was going to say, you've lived there forever, right?
And then you hit a point where it's like, you can't ask. It's been too long.
Yeah.
You're like, if I ask them what their name is, they will be so insulted.
Yeah.
And I also make up names of what I think their name should be.
Like?
So there's a family that lives across the street, and they moved, and I couldn't remember their names. But they had like old-fashioned names. So I would just make up like old-fashioned names, like I'd be
Esther.
like, Esther and William. And then my wife would know who I was talking about because she's like, you're an idiot. You don't know anyone's name. And so she would correct me.
Huh.
And now I remember, and they moved to Ireland, and they were like my favorite people. And now I remember.
You're your favorite, and you don't even remember your names. Because this is the house you grew up in, right?
No.
Oh, no.
I grew up in Ohio.
Oh, that's right. But this house you've had for a while, right?
Let's see.
I think I was at your house a long time ago. Like to pick you up for a gig or something. I don't think you had the boys yet.
Oh, that we're probably when I was living with my in-laws while we were
That's
looking for
it.
houses.
So it's not
it was
there?
Angie's house.
Oh, it's
that
Angie's.
she grew up in.
Oh, got it.
But now we're in a different house.
Got it.
But I call it the Hobbit house because it's so tiny. We lived in a tiny apartment in New York City, and then when we bought this house, we're like, this place is huge. Oh my god! And then it's like once we moved all of our stuff in and then had kids, we're like, we need a bigger house.
Yeah. Now's the worst time to buy a house.
Yeah.
When I was 2, we were at the boys' jamboree. My father told us we were leaving, get ready to go to the car. We got everyone together. He couldn't find me for hours. They were ready to drag the lake. Someone said to check the car. I went to the car and fell asleep. My father kept saying, Rosanna's going to kill me. That's funny. Mm-hmm.
I went missing once. My parents took me to this place. It's called the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania. And
Okay.
it's like, it's this like national park place.
Okay.
And I thought I knew better than everybody. And I'm like, because the trail goes up the mountain like this.
Okay.
And I was like, if you just go through the woods, you can cut through and make it to the other trail. So I'll just do that and get ahead of everybody. And then I just went missing. So
how old were you?
It's probably I'd say 7.
Oh my gosh.
And so I remember the panic of I can't find the trail. I have no idea where my family is, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. This is where it ends.
Did you hear? No, Missy said, I hate the part where it's too late for me to ask someone's name because I've already had deep discussions with them about menopause, sex, and cholesterol.
But you don't know their name. It's the worst.
You're like, you
feeling
have
in
to
the
get that
world.
yeast infection fixed up, whatever your
I know
name
their
is.
doctor.
Yeah.
I know their dentist, but I don't know.
Melanie said, I'm horrible with names. My neighbor Tim moved in 3 years ago. My other neighbor Beth told me we don't have a neighbor named Tim. His name is Rich. It was 3 years.
That's 100% me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also hate when you call somebody the wrong name and they don't correct you.
Yeah, because then you're like, well,
we're like, this is your fault. You should have said it a long time ago.
I'm so bad with names. When I was the door guy at Stand Up New York, I was like the door guy, So the other manager, his name was John McLaughlin, and we were all comedians.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made me go on stage, it was my turn to go on, because that's what you worked for. And then they're like, listen, the MC's going to leave, so just bring up the next person.
Okay.
I've worked with this guy for 4 years. He's stayed over my house a dozen times. We've hung out. I'm on stage, and I completely forgot his name. And I didn't know what to do. So I was like, your next comic, he's a good friend of mine. You guys are going to love him. Give it up. I didn't know what to do. Because I was like, and he goes up, and when he shook my hand, he leaned in and goes, you forgot my name, didn't you? And I was like, yep.
Yes, I did, sir.
Yep.
Yes, I did. Uh-huh.
Oh.
I have to write the names of my new neighbors. After 2 years, I always check before I go and see them.
It's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because that's the other thing. Is that if there's a cluster of people that from a group,
Mm-hmm.
and so then you start calling them one name or the other,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden you forget which one's which. So then you're hanging out and you're like,
you guys.
Or you call them the wrong name and they're like, no, that's Susan.
Yeah, it was a bunny.
There were two out front just chasing each other.
I'm telling you, these bunnies are living in a false sense of security because the minute this dog gets out of this fence, this place will be bunnyless. They are loving. Okay, so I told you Tommy's been coming here. We call him Tommy Thong. Don't tell him that. Tommy Thong has been here working. Well, he works back there at the carriage house. Well, the fence, every time he comes here, he leaves that fence open and Lulu gets out.
Oh, boy.
And Tommy and I had to canvass 4 blocks of this area in the 100-degree heat. And I was like, I'm going to kill you. I will kill you now because you keep leaving this fence over. I was like, you're not allowed to come in. It's so funny. Yeah. It said, when we moved into this house, all the female neighbors were named Lisa and all the men were Rob. That's so easy.
That's great.
But then when you're talking about him, be like, Lisa in the red house, but Rob, who's like, he should probably
Dirty
jog a
Shirt
little more.
Rob.
Yeah, Dirty Shirt Rob. Like, it's like a whole bunch. You have to start giving them
We had-
nicknames.
This is probably now it's not politically correct to say this, but at Stand Up New York, we had Little Nick, who was my roommate, and he was a little person.
Okay.
So it made sense. But then our other Nick was our boss, and he gave himself this name, so don't judge me.
Okay.
But he went by Big Gay Nick. And we could have just did one of the adjectives. We didn't need both. Because he was like 6'8" and a big man.
Yeah.
And he was also fire engine red curly hair. And he talked like this. So like you only needed one of the adjectives. We didn't need both.
But you
he
did
gave
it.
You
did it.
He wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a good, did anyone ever give you a good nickname?
No, my sister called me Skeeter.
Skeeter?
Mm-hmm. That sounds fun.
That sounds hillbilly.
Yeah, no, it's because I had mosquito bite boobies.
Oh my God.
Not that funny, actually. Not that funny.
I mean,
still hurts right here. Still hurts.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. Still hurts right here. Did you have a nickname?
Well, your kids gave me hillbilly, and then that stuck.
John Kensel says here.
Hey, let's see. I was always just because my last name. Everybody just always called me Riccadonna.
Yeah.
Riccadonna.
Where are you from in Ohio? Everybody's
Youngstown. Well, outside of Youngstown, I lived in the boondocks. So when people hear Youngstown, they think like, "Ooh, that's a dangerous town." I grew up next to a dairy farm.
Did you play baseball? Because Youngstown is like the capital of. Oh, no.
Football is the big thing there.
Oh. What is it in Pennsylvania that is the Little League?
Oh,
city?
Cooperstown.
Cooperstown.
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah. My husband's name is Buddy. You can't go wrong. Yeah, that's easy.
That's it.
Hey, Buddy. Just so easy.
We used to joke around that in high school sports, if the coach called you by your number, you were probably getting cut.
Oh, because he didn't know.
Because he didn't know
your name.
And I was like, I should never be a coach because I don't know anyone's name.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
If they call you by your last name, you got a shot. And if you have a nickname, you're in, even if it's a bad nickname.
Missy said her nickname was Pissy Missy Frizzhead, and it was not her favorite.
I'd see if I went to high school with Missy, I would have called her Sister Christian. She looks just like the girl from the Sister Christian video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Night
Melanie
Ranger.
said Youngstown is rough.
It is.
It is?
Youngstown, the actual Youngstown is it's a tough town. It's like an old blue-collar steel mill, shot in the beer kind of place. But where I lived was out in the country.
Tammy Vince said her nickname was Titless Professor.
Holy.
Where'd
Professor come? I have an idea where Titless came from, but
very aggressive.
I don't want to. Yeah, that's an aggressive nickname.
Terry. Yeah, what were your nicknames growing up? Did anybody have a weird one?
The joke about Grandpa, a lot of people call me Grandpa when I was young. Mm-hmm. Because I remember saying when we were real little, like grade school, they're like, what do you want to be when you get older? I'm like, a grandpa.
Wait, my maiden name is Bouillon. Growing up, I was called Chicken and my brother was Beef.
That's a good one. Football coach took liberty on my last name, and for a while I was known as Ricka Dumbass. That was a nickname that I'm glad didn't.
Huh.
Wait.
It said, after teaching pre-K for 8.5 months, I still don't know most of the parents' names. You don't need to. Roxanne was Rocky Raccoon.
I like that one.
Michelle was Deep in Spaghetti because my last name was D. Pasquale. Michelle Deep in Spaghetti. My grandparents called me Scratch. I don't know why. Jeremy Hall was Germs since he was 4. Martha was Mart the Fart.
Mart the Fart.
Erica
That's
Puccio.
a good one if it was a guy, though. For a girl, that's probably
that's probably not the greatest
one.
Don't
call me that.
We don't want that. Erica Puccio was mostly called Pooch.
Pooch.
Mm-hmm. Marietta, Ohio is in the house. Mine was Baby Godzilla.
I need to know the history of that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Baby Godzilla.
Ketchup Jenny. I liked ketchup.
Ketchup Jenny.
That's so funny. Little Wags. My brother was Big Wags. Oh, Wagner. Got it.
That's a good one. That's like a good sport name.
Yeah.
Get 'em, Wags. Come on.
Melanie Davis says, I'm Toasty still. My brothers called me Melba Toast when I was little and slowly evolved into Toasty. They haven't called me by my name ever.
Oh, that's fun.
My oldest sister this is Lee McKinney, and his oldest sister was Skinny McKinney.
Skinny McKinney. I would have never got that nickname.
My nickname was Screaming Mimi. Or is it Meme? Screaming Meme. Anna Paglione. Mine was Alberghetti because my full name is Anna Marie. I don't get that one. My nickname in college was Kiwi. Why was it pronounced that way? Because it looks like Chewy. That's so funny.
You know, when I was at the American Academy.
Hold that thought. I was called Nanny No Knockers when I was younger.
Jeez, with the
when I hit 14, they changed it to Annie All Knockers. What is happening?
A lot of boob nicknames.
There's a lot. You have no idea how much young ladies are attacked by their lack of boobage.
It's a good thing we had to wear pants.
We all thank you. Wait, did you see the video of the guy running the hurdles?
No.
Mark Riccadonna. Did you guys see it? There was some type of track and field event, and they were running the hurdles. There was a malfunction. Now, you know those jogging shorts.
Yeah, they leave nothing.
They flow in the wind. Well, there was a lot flowing, like his whole banana. And it's almost like they zoomed in on it.
That was just you.
That was me with my binoculars. I'm telling you, it was crazy. You never saw anything like it. It was mesmerizing. And it was and he won. So, and then
it wasn't fair. He had 3 legs.
That's the thing. Then you had to go to the comment section. This morning I was telling Jason about it, and I was reading. He was like, "Are you watching it now?" I go, "Oh no, I watched it days ago." Now I'm here for the comment section. Somebody was like, "He won because he was running on 3 legs. He was a head above everybody else. He won by a hair." Like it just it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, and it was all over the internet. That is for sure. He won by an inch.
I'm surprised he didn't knock over one of the
I'm telling
hurdles.
you. And the thing is
that's why I didn't run track and
he
field.
Won the race, but he won everything.
Yeah. He won.
Could you imagine if that happened and you were not well endowed? You'd be like, you might have won the race, but you lost on so many other levels. But he won. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to need a link to that video. Oh, you can see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
put that in your search history.
And did you hear? Now here's what's twisted. Yesterday, all over the news, you had to have seen this if you read.
I don't.
Okay, all over the news. The headline was, Hero Dad saves daughter who falls off of Disney cruise. That was the headline. Hero Dad saves daughter who fell off Disney cruise.
I used to work for Disney Cruise.
Okay, how easy do you think it is to fall off a Disney cruise ship?
Hard.
Very hard. So the first question is, how did this kid... I mean, that's the whole point. Keep people on the ship. That's the real number one. Keep the ship above the water. Keep the people in the ship.
Hands and feet inside right
at all times. Yeah, they take this very seriously. But the headline is Hero Dad saves daughter. Okay. So then, Hero Dad saves daughter that he put on the railing.
I was about to say.
So he could take a picture of her.
How did the kid get there? Was he not watching her?
He put her up on the gate, on the fence.
It should
stepped back to take a picture. She went over. I guess he was obviously concerned about his daughter, but knew that if his wife found out that he put her on he jumps in too. And then as soon as somebody goes over, sirens go off.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like-
Disney immediately, they said within, it was a long time. They were treading water for 20 minutes. Mary, they haven't said it yet, but
that would be, I mean,
and then in the comments, people were like, why are we calling this man a hero? That's like setting a fire and then you put it out and you're like, I'm a hero now.
there are those people.
Crazy. Crazy.
Oh my God. Could you imagine that if Angie saw that I did something like that,
Right.
it would be like, man goes missing at Disney Cruise Line.
After returning to shore, man goes missing. And you're just like, what kind of dum-dum?
Oh my God.
Crazy.
And it's like, oh my God.
And what do? You can't ever leave your child, 4-year-old, with your husband ever again.
No, like that's forever. Like you might as well start over.
Could you imagine and be like, hey, who's going to make dinner tonight? Like, well, let's see. I didn't put our daughter on a railing and have her fall into the ocean. So probably you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. The high school graduation.
Congratulations. You're only here because I was here and I told Disney to come get you and your dumb dad out of the water. Like, I just don't see. Yeah. No, he's not a hero, Kim. She said he's still a hero. He made a stupid mistake, but he heroically saved his kid. No.
Oh, man.
You can't be a hero if you caused it. No. No.
No.
Yeah. No. So you can't. You can't. That's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. Yeah. No. That's just stupid.
Man found crying in the fetal
Yeah.
in his cabin.
Yeah.
That is true.
Too much. Too much.
Oh man. What's the
I would tell the captain to circle back for my kid, but leave the jackass in the water. Marina, this guy put his kid, this 4-year-old, on the top of a fence on a Disney cruise. She fell over. And then he jumped in after her, obviously, because it's so dumb. And then they had to go back and then go get them. But they called him a hero. So some of us might have problems with that adjective. Mm-hmm.
I spell. No, never mind.
No,
I shouldn't
don't
say that. What's the worst predicament you ever had with your kids? Like where you were like, oh, we shouldn't have done that.
So many.
I feel like I'm trying to think of one, but it's like there were so many little ones, but nothing like sticking out that was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, look. No, this is Hillbilly.
Sorry, I gotta go give hugs.
Lulu. That's Sam. Sam, that's Mark. You can call him the Hillbilly if you want. He loves it.
The dogs are gonna.
I know. We have to have Mr. Trash Can and a Hillbilly here one day at the same time. Okay.
I remember Mr. Hillbilly.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I think there's a picture somewhere of all of us on that vacation.
Oh,
I have to find it.
On the lazy river.
Yes.
Yes. And the mac and cheese my grandma was feeding.
I was so hungover. It was hilarious because like I almost was like, I remember you were like, you're gonna come over, and then I was like, I didn't have kids yet, so I forgot you guys wake up early.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, no, I'll be there. And then it was like 8 a.m. I was like, what?
That was the most exciting part.
Yeah, they loved it. They loved every minute of it.
When you don't have kids, you don't realize that they love mornings.
Yeah, and they would wake up in the morning like, hey, are you going to call Mark? Is Mark going to come over now? Is Mark going to come? What time is Mark going to get here? I'm like, I think Mark wants a break from all of you. And then were you there when the fire alarm went off?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what happens. So we're all upstairs. We're in this condo, right? And Mark is spending all during the day. And then at night, we would go and do the comedy show at night. So we're on like the 3rd or 4th floor of this condo building. And it's a big complex. And the fire alarm goes off. And they're saying, everyone, please, go down to the parking lot. Well, everybody was trying to stay calm, right? So I was like, all right, everybody just grab your stuff. Like we didn't see any fire, but we're like, grab your stuff. Well, Jacqueline, I don't know if you remember this, but Jacqueline, and I never saw her do this before. She was like, we gotta get out of here, and just freaks out. So now we all start going. Well, Jacqueline comes out of nowhere, pushes my mom out of the way. She pushes her way down the steps, and we're like, where are you going? She was down the steps and in the parking lot as far as she could go. She was like, you're all on your own. I've never seen a kid run so fast and so far. I was like, you pushed grandma. She was like, we had to get out of there. And I was like, it was your grandma. She didn't care. Jacqueline she had a very high survival.
In a past life,
drive.
She was in a horrible fire.
She was in a horrible. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was so funny. It was so funny. Yeah, like George Costanza. Exactly. She was the George Costanza of that fire.
Do you remember the episode of Frasier when the sports guy, like somebody had a gun and he went the wrong way and he pushed the pregnant lady in front of the guy with the gun, but he went the wrong way, so then they thought he was a hero. That he like pushed the pregnant lady out of the thing.
No.
And it was like it was like the Costanza episode. And it was like this whole thing, and then they were like, your guilt's gonna get you. Your guilt's gonna that was her. She just threw grandma.
She didn't care. She was like, she should have been running faster. She's your grandma.
She's the person in the zombie apocalypse you don't want to be with. Because she's like, I just have to be faster than you.
Yeah. Now, she also pulled another one in Vegas. So I had my mom and Brooke. Brooke was in a stroller. My mom is rolling her down the hallway. We're waiting at the elevator. It's me, Jacqueline, and Dean waiting for my mom and Brooke. And I had called the elevator, and I go back down here to look down the hallway to see how close they are. I turn around and I see Dean, but I don't know where Jacqueline is. I go, where's your sister? He's like, she got in the elevator. So I come back to the elevator just as the doors close.
Oh no.
And panic. And I go, where's she going? Dean goes, I don't know. I go, and you're like, so now I'm and I'm trying to get it. And I'm like, I was like, Dean, do you know if she pushed any buttons? He was like, I don't know what she did. So I think that was my moment. And I was like, where did she go? And I am pushing. My mom's like, where's Jacqueline? I go, she's in the elevator. And so I'm freaking out. Elevator comes and it's full of people. And I was like, move over. I said, my daughter's missing. So now the whole elevator's like, where'd she go? We're like, we don't know. So we get down to the first floor, open the doors, and there's like 6 elevators. So I'm standing there and I'm like, I think it's this one. The door opens, she's not there. And I was just now what are we going to do? So now I was like, everybody spread out. I leave my mom with the kids. I go around the corner and I'm trying to find a policeman. I'm like, they got to just tell them that there's a kid somewhere. And I see a police officer like through the crowd. And I was like, hey. And I look and she was like on his leg. Like she knew enough to find a police officer and just wrapped herself around. She's like, I just know that. And so she saw me and she was like, I'm never leaving again. Like she was. But she was young. She was probably like 4 or 5. Like she was very young. And then you gave her a couple years and then she pushed my mom out of the way. She was like, I'm out. I'm out of here. You're on your own.
Oh my God, that would be so scary. Because especially in Vegas. I was expecting her to be at the casino with a hat on, cigar, playing blackjack. Right.
Brooke said, one time we were at a restaurant, my mom's beer mug shattered, but to me it sounded like a gunshot. I pushed my sister and nephew out of the way as I dove under the table.
Into the shards of glass. Yeah, it was Bulldog. Wow. Jody remembers.
What's Bulldog?
He's the guy on Frasier.
Oh, the guy on Frasier.
It's so random it popped into my head.
Yeah.
Like,
that's so funny.
One of my issues with, I can't pay attention to things. Because, like, I'll be having a serious conversation with people, and then all of a sudden I start thinking about, like, an episode of MASH. And I'm like, I haven't seen this show in 30 years. Why am I thinking about Alan Alda right now?
You're so funny. You are. You have, like, an old soul. You have, like, old man references.
So our storytelling show that I do with Maureen, she said I have age dysmorphia. She makes fun of me because one time I texted her. I was like, sorry, I'm texting so late. And I said the thing. In my defense, I meant late because she texted at like 8 in the morning, and then I was getting back to her at 9 at night. And she's like, Mark, 9 at night is not that late for normal human beings. And I
Unless
was
you're
like,
Tanny.
yeah, like, well, I already had dinner. But I meant late as in like 12 hours later or whatever.
But I believe you that you probably go to bed around 7:30.
If I could, I would.
Yeah.
I love waking up when everybody's asleep at like 4 in the morning, going down and making coffee and being by myself. And like I'll sit on the porch and have coffee and like start doing my emails.
Crystal said, my dad watches MASH daily. I swear he's seen every episode over 100 times. So if I'm gonna name some shows I think you watched. Are you ready?
You're probably going to be correct on all of them.
Hogan's Heroes.
Yes, when I was very young, but my wife loves Hogan's Heroes.
What?
We have all of them on DVD. I have DVDs. That's how old I am. That's how
Hogan's Heroes, Sanford and Son.
Oh God,
obviously.
yes.
That's a good one. Let's see. You already said MASH. It was funny because Jason and I were talking, because Jason is like you. You guys would get along. He has all his references are old. And
Angie laughs at me. Did you know there's a David Letterman channel?
What?
It plays David Letterman all day. And Angie's like, you have to put on a different channel. Like every time I turn the TV on, it's David Letterman. And it's the old episodes too. So it's like, remember when like Sandra Bernhardt and stuff would come on? And so it'd be like stuff like that. And I'd just sit there and just watch it like all day. And she'd be like,
how about McHale's Navy?
I didn't watch McHale's Navy
before your time.
Yeah. But it's like Nick at Night, they have all those on. And like if I'm flipping through the channels and Taxi or Cheers or Frasier or Night Court is on, I have to finish the episode.
What if I just said the word Niagara Falls?
Picture this. Step by step, inch by inch.
So good. So good.
That's why every comedian goes to Schenectady, because you get do the Schenectady shuffle. Gilligan's Island. I remember Alf. Yes.
I one day I must have bought like too many carrots or something. I don't know. And I was trying to make something with these carrots. And I said, well, it's like that episode of Gilligan's Island. And he was like, what are you talking about? I go, when he ate too many carrots and they could see really far. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the episode with the vegetables. He didn't know anything I was talking about. He doesn't know any of my references. None.
I also I get in trouble sometimes with people because of my old references, because I worked with Paul Provenza on a TV pilot, and everybody was like, oh my God, he's the producer of The Aristocrats. Like he's, like they're going on and on about all of his like cool credits. And I was like, he was the boyfriend on Empty Nest. And everybody's like, what? And I'm like, you don't remember? Like he lived in their garage, and they're like, Mark,
stop it.
You need help.
It's too much.
I got to do a play with this guy, Ken Levine. He's a writer, and he wrote on, everybody knows him from Frasier and Cheers.
Right.
But I was like, he worked on MASH. Like how amazing is that this person's like writing a play and he worked on MASH. Yeah. Like that's crazy.
Everybody said you have a great laugh. Do people tell you that?
I do hear that a lot. That's like the big compliment for me. Everybody's like, you laugh so good.
So I've been talking to Tommy Thong about like his best feature. Like you're obviously married, not on a dating app, but if you were on a dating app or otherwise in your marriage, what do you think is your best feature?
I'm easy to get along with. Like, so I'll, if somebody has something they're really into, I'll give it a go.
Let's do it.
Where I'm in.
All right. Give me two more. Like what would you lead with on your dating app? You're like, I'm easy to get along with. What are your other two?
I like stuff like just talking and just hanging out. Like I don't feel like, like all these people are like, I go on hikes and walks on the beach. And I'm like, why? We could just sit at a bar and talk. Like that would be way more fun.
Okay.
Geez, I don't know. I like old TV shows.
Somebody says loves animals.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Oh my God. I love animals except for snakes.
Oh my
No
gosh.
snakes.
What is it? Have you ever heard of Snake Island?
That sounds like something I would not want to hear about.
Okay, the other day I show a video to Jason, and it was of an osprey, but this giant osprey. There's a guy that I started following on Instagram. I'll have to find the name of it. Mark something photography. And he has these amazing videos of nature, right? It's this giant osprey nosedives into the ocean, like so fast, comes up, its claws, it's got a fish. And the music, it's the most majestic thing you've ever seen. I was like, did you see this? This is amazing. And I'm showing the video, and Jason goes, I got one for you. He's like, Google. He goes, you like osprey? I have a video for you. Google Snake Island. And I go, okay. So I Google it, and it's a whole bunch of snakes. He goes, Dina, the whole island is snakes. And I go, okay. I go, and he goes, now watch what happens with this iguana that's trying to get off of the beach. And I go, okay, so we're watching it, and it's just one iguana after another being eaten by snakes. And I go, when does the osprey come in? And he was like, what osprey? I just showed you a beautiful video of a majestic osprey, and now you're just showing. He goes, no, it's just a great video. I hate snakes. I go, well, then why would you make me watch this? He was like, look, here, he's going to get another one. I go, okay. I feel like you're not really good with like the flow of a conversation. I said, look at this majestic osprey. You're like, watch these snakes kill something.
So my youngest, Duke, the one that's the crazy one,
right.
His like special skill in our neighborhood. I live in like the Goonies neighborhood. There's 10 kids all within from first grade to now sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
And they all hang out, and they're all like buddies, and they have their adventures in our backyard. Duke's special thing, how like every kid has their thing. He can find a snake no matter what time of year it is. No. It'll be the middle of winter, and they're like, Duke, can you go get a snake? I'll be like, be right back. I'll come back with like 3 snakes, and he just holds them, and they're like hanging off his hand. And he's like, he just, I don't know how he knows where to look. I don't know. And I hate snakes. So he's always like, Dad, look at these snakes. And he'll come out. It was like right when we started like doing the yard, like for spring, he come out and he had like 6 snakes in his hands. No. And he comes running out. He was so excited. No. And I'm like, buddy, put him in the neighbor's yard.
You have to move. You have to move, son.
He loves and just finds them. Like, I think he's going to be one of those people, like those nature guys that like go in the Everglades and like yoink snakes and alligators and all kind. And I'm like, I'm 100% the opposite.
Yeah, no.
I'll go to a pet store, and they're like, you want to hold the snake? I'm like, what? No. I don't even want to look at it.
No.
Get it out of here.
You know what I'm also obsessed with on Instagram is beekeepers.
I would love to do that.
It is mesmerizing. And the way that they talk about the behaviors of bees, like I'm just, if I get stung, I have to go to the hospital because I will get an infection.
Probably not a good job.
Not a great job for me, but I'm obsessed with it. But the other day on one of them, it showed a video of a beekeeper from far away, and she was like, we have to exterminate this hive. And they never do that. They're always about preservation, conservation. Bees. She goes, this hive has to be exterminated. We specifically have to take the queen out because she's causing them to be super, super aggressive. She's like, we're going to replace the queen bee.
She was a bitch.
Yeah. And I was like, what? They say one bad apple. Apparently, you can see them like, and most of the time when the beekeepers over there, they're swarming, but they're not attacking. Like they let people do their thing. but I've never seen one where they were like, we have to exterminate it. It was crazy. And I was
They always
like,
have those little pots with smoke in it.
yeah, they're just getting them all doped up and stuff.
The bees get
Yeah,
the
they're like,
good thing
"Whoa."
is they're all stoned. They got munchies. There's honey everywhere, so they're fine.
Yeah, they're like, dude,
This is cool, man.
so crazy. So crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. We had a great show today. Thank you, Mark Riccadonna.
Thank you for having me. Otherwise, I would have been sitting in my living room by myself.
He says, my brother is a beekeeper, makes his own honey, and he gives it to people. Would he want to be on our show? Tell him not to bring bees.
Don't
or
bring bees,
them
but
in
honey.
a little container. No bees with him. But Tim, I would love to have a beekeeper on the show. Like,
Oh
I'm
my God.
obsessed with bees.
Did you see the movie The Beekeeper?
No.
It's with.
Is there murder in it?
Tons.
Okay, then no, I don't want to watch that.
It's that guy. He's like the action hero that shaved head. I can't think of his name right now because I'm not good with names.
Right.
We'll just call him Steve. And Steve the beekeeper. The beekeepers are like a secret oath of government hitmen that are like the highest order. And this guy's like he's a beekeeper during the day, but then at night he's like bringing down small countries.
That sounds realistic.
I swear to God, the movie had to have been made on a bet that somebody got a beekeeper's manual and was like,
Jason Statham?
Yes, that's the guy. I call him Steve.
He goes by Steve when you're really close to him. Wait, Jason Statham is in this movie? This doesn't even sound like a good movie.
It
You're like,
should
it's
not
not.
be. It should not be, but he makes it good. But it and what's his name? Also, is it Alan Rickman or somebody like where you're like, who paid to have this made?
Who
and
convinced
who paid,
you to do this
and
movie?
what?
Tracy said it's a great movie.
Claire
Beekeeper is an
Huxtable.
awesome movie.
But the entire plot of the movie is basically a beekeeper's manual. But they're like, "Can you make this about humans?" They're like, "You got to take out the queen if you want to bring down the hive." Like everything is like a rule in the
Wow.
beekeeper manual.
That's really funny. Can you say happy birthday to Madeline? It's her birthday.
Madeline, happy birthday!
You would love her.
Oh,
Mhm.
and where's Madeline? What part of the universe?
Madeline, where do you live? So I have an online open mic. Missy and I host a virtual
That's
open mic
awesome.
every Wednesday, and Madeline is one of our premier students. Madeline
Yay.
was trying to feel more comfortable reading at her church, and so she was very nervous. We're probably in our third or fourth month now. We meet every Wednesday online.
That is
and,
awesome.
And yeah, she's in Illinois. And
Nice.
and so she has been practicing and getting more and more comfortable. And sometimes she does poems, and she's been doing some original works
That's
now.
awesome.
So yeah, you would love Madeline. So it's her birthday today.
Ah.
So happy birthday, Madeline.
I want to be at the new club. It's not that new. It's probably like 3 years old. But the Vault,
Where's that?
Bativa.
Where?
It's right outside Chicago.
Oh yeah.
But
Is Bativa a place?
It's
Like a town?
Yeah.
Never heard of it. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying.
Wait, somebody said something of fog spotting. What is
A
that?
what? Where'd you
Somebody
see
said
that?
something about you love dogs. How do you feel about fog sodding?
Fog sodding.
I don't know what it
I
is.
don't know either.
Please tell us before we
Yeah.
log off.
Yeah.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
You
They're
have such a
great
cool
group.
community.
We do.
I feel like I post things online like every day, and every once in a while I'll get this stuff where people will be like, "Oh, look, Ted Cruz is doing comedy," and like they just write like really mean stuff. And I'm just like, I don't have a community. I
You
have
do
just
now.
a bunch
They'll
of
follow you. So
snipers.
how can people follow you?
I'm the only Mark Riccadonna, so easy to find.
There you go. But you're Mark Redonner, storyteller and comedian on
Yes.
Facebook. Who are
And-
you on Instagram?
Mark Riccadonna on all the platforms, and then also there's Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, which is me and Richie's thing.
Okay.
We haven't been. I post because we have 1 billion backlogged episodes, so I post clips all the
Oh,
time.
good.
But like we haven't done a new episode in forever.
All right. Well,
Richie's-
maybe you guys should get your stuff together.
Well, you met Richie. If you think I'm bad, everybody makes fun of me for being old.
And just so you know, fog sodding is not a word. She's probably drunk, and she meant dog sitting.
Oh,
Also
dog
known as
sit.
fog sodding.
Hey,
Just didn't
I
want you to
fog
leave
sod,
and be
dog
thinking,
sit.
I gotta Google fog sodding.
Yeah, that's some like weird website.
How do you spell Mark's last name? Don't tell me. Riccadonna. Ricca Donna.
Yeah.
Pocket book.
Pocket
Same.
book.
Basically same.
Davenport. That's another old school name.
That is. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. As always, like Judy from Saskatoon and Good Time Andrea say all the time, do fog sodding in your free time because it's just
I'm
fun.
always doing it.
It's always fun to do. So have a great day and a blessed day, and make sure you check out Mark and follow him. Very funny. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good one. Bye.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's morning show, make sure to follow us for more One Funny Mother content.
Okay, all right. Morse code is tapping.
And check out OneFunnyMotherStore.com for great new inappropriate swag. And for more exclusive content, consider becoming a supporter.
She got a bad leg.
Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow on One Funny Morning.